Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Welcome to 2022. And like yourself, I thank God for sparing my life, that of my family, loved ones, and even mine enemies for crossing over in the year 2022. I trust you're having a wonderful first of the year 2022, and all the best to all of you. Now, I will say to all of you, like I would have said to all of my friends, I kind of abandon all the best to you type speeches because I know for a fact that if you did what was right in the year before and you believe in the Bible, and if you believe in sowing and reaping, then you will only get what you deposited from 2021 and beyond in 2022. So all of you that followed the laws, all of you that made it your business to engage in the promises, the protocols and the principles of God, then by default, 2022 is going to be an excellent year for you. God himself can't stop it. He'd be going against his own word. So if you did what was right, if you planted the right seeds, meaning you planted the word of God by putting it into action and particularly seeking the needs of others, you're going to have a fabulous year, man. You're going to have an awesome year. Okay? I don't have to wish that for you. That will by default happen. Now, if you didn't, if you know the wrong you did, you know you didn't help apologize to people, didn't help others and so on, then don't come talking no fool, but have a happy new year. That's not going to happen. Okay? Because if that's going to happen, then it makes no sense engaging the laws of sowing and reaping. You could just live how you want to live without any boundaries, because if you do wrong, you'll reap good. And we all know that's not going to happen. All right? Again, it's a pleasure to have you back here with me. A few hours ago, I would have almost concluded my teaching on breaking the mindset of poverty. And in that last teaching, I was kind of disappointed because I actually did almost an hour and 40 minutes of that. But of course, you only would have gotten an hour's recording. The reason for that is that the sound went out with the recording. So I finally concluded it is the actual wireless lapel system that has the problem. All right. So I've since, I always had a new one here. I just never got to using it. So I'm going to definitely finish off that, hopefully by tonight, no later than tomorrow, to post it, because there's a lot that was not mentioned that was, of course, I had no sound. So I'll definitely conclude that no later than tomorrow. I see a lot of you asking me to continue with it, and I will. And I really believe that it's a series that people really need to put into action, breaking the mindset of poverty that is coming into this year here. You have to. I don't care how much money you receive from someone. I don't care what you inherit. If you still have the same mindset of consuming, spending recklessly, having no discipline, having no patience, then all that additional funds are going to do to you is to get you in more trouble, because you're going to find yourself in debt above everything else, right? Now, today is a powerful, powerful day, and it was not my intentions at all of doing a recording today, much less the topic, which is resetting relationships in 2022. What happened is I had a conversation with my brother this morning. And of course, as usual, we're catching up at old times and just beginning to talk about some stuff. And as normal for me, I get revelation through conversations with others, through watching a movie, through just watching nature. And the Lord will begin to just put things in my mind to bring to the forefront. And in our conversation, we were talking about family and our personal families, our extended families, and so on. Based on things that was said, and the Lord putting in my heart to say to him, and him likewise to me, I said, boy, and I told him, I said, man, thank you for giving me this to inspire me to make this into a teaching, because it's something that really, really, really needs to be addressed. Now, I don't know how long this series is going to go on for, because it's very extensive. And we're covering everything from marriage to immediate and extended families, on the job, you name it. And one of the things I really want to pound on, and that has to do a lot with parents. A lot of times when it comes to relationship, 9 times out of 10, when that relationship is between parents and their children, 9 times the parent think they're right and the child is wrong. And over many years of counseling, I've seen that to be not the case. What I do see, though, is a controlling parent. And I see that a lot, man. When I tell you, that is very irritating to me, because those who are under this spell of controlling the lives of others, where they have done it so long, they don't see how much their ability to want to control someone has deteriorated so many of their relationships. And before they can admit that they're the ones that has caused this, they believe that because they're the parent and the child is the child, they're automatically right. And I'm here to set the record straight with them right now. And that's not to say that kids don't have their issues. They do. But in this series, we're not going to levy the entire problem on this to children. Parents play a major role. A lot of parents have this delusional idea that because they took care of their children are obligated to them. Nonsense. While I totally agree with the Bible that we must honor our parents, but the truth is, you brought the children here. They didn't ask to come here. For whatever reason you brought them here, whether it's through your pleasures, whether you planned it, it doesn't matter. When you did that, you signed on to, at minimum, for 18 years to take care of that child. And everything that you did for that child, you wasn't doing that child a favor. You were living up to your responsibility. So no parent have the right to say, all I did for you, all what you're supposed to do for me. All right? So don't act as if someone tossed me on you. You brought me here. I came from you guys. All right, and let's be clear about that, because a lot of people believe this sense of entitlement. No, I told you before, my kids, whatever I do for my children, I am obligated as a father, as a man. No matter how they came here, they're my children. And my responsibility, at minimum, until they arrive at 18 years old, is to take care of them. They had options. If you didn't want them here, you could have aborted them. You could have given them away. You could have done whatever you did. You didn't do it. You decided to keep them, right? And even if you gave them away to the children's home or whatever, that does not negate the fact that they came from you and you brought them here for whatever reason. So I'm tired of this manipulative, controlling spirit by parents that feel that their children must just bow to them and just worship them and whatever they say. And to the point, and this is the part I'm really going to deal with, to the point where you have a lot of marriages are destroyed by the parent because they put the child in this scenario. Do you like your wife or husband more than you like me? I love my wife more. Let's be clear here. Because a mother or father's love is different from a spouse's love. That should never be compared. And I want to set the record straight, because I've had a lot of cases like this last year. A lot of people with this same issue where this parent don't know their role. You need to know your role. Nobody interrupted your marriage. Nobody tried to dictate how you should control your affairs in your marriage. So where do you get off trying to live the life or to steal someone else's life to insert the way you feel it should go? Get out of here with that nonsense, man. And we're going to address that nonsense. And I hate to see weak men, never defend their wives, or even weak wives, never defend your husband when it comes to your family. You know, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, all right? You married this person, you went to the altar, you said for better or for worse, you said through sickness, and these were the commitments you made before God and man. This is what you said, only to be a jelly back when mommy or daddy throw some guilt trip on you. No, 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 no. That's I don't believe in that. The Bible don't believe in that. Yes, children, honor your parents. That is clear. And parents, do not provoke your children. It goes two ways. It goes two ways, and that's why marriages are prone for failure when you have parents who don't know their boundaries. And I don't fully blame the parent. Let me be clear here. I blame the spouse whose parents they have yet to set the record straight with. All because mommy and daddy, all I did for you, I fall down with you. I worked 4 jobs for you. You should have worked 6 jobs for me because that was your responsibility because you brought me here. And that responsibility by law, well, in my country, you had until I was 18 years old. Bottom line. And I tell you, my motto, my son is 20, he's going to be 26 in April. And I tell him, I say, Kev, you owe me nothing. What I did for you, making sure you get an education, making sure I prepare you for life, okay? I taught you about God. I teach you manners, everything how to respect people, everything I did. I feel proud as a father what I did, okay? The purpose of what I did, because you didn't ask to come here, the purpose of what I did primarily, A, to make you a man, 2, not to make you dependent on me as a parent. Because by 18, I should have done such a good job that you are able to go off on your own now. Yes, help you, guide you, whatever. But in totality, you should be able to stand on your own 2 feet. Okay? And my desire is for him to succeed, which he did, and he is succeeding. So it's to me, my payment from him is his success. Not that he owes me anything. Not that whenever he gets married, he got to wonder if I should do this for daddy first, or if I got to do this for my wife first. Well, you all parents need to go lay down, you only go get safe, man. Get safe. And a lot of these young couples don't stand a chance in their marriage because these nutcase parents don't know they know. And what I find to be so hypocritical with them, nobody could dictate to their relationship. Nobody could tell them the things they're trying to impose on this couple right here. Anyway, I come to set the record straight. I came because y'all know me. Okay, I ain't changed from last year. Fuck, I get worse. I call it how I see it. And other preachers don't talk about it. And I talk about the subjects that need to be talked about. I don't hide from behind nobody. I come out of the blocks with it. Because Kevin speaks with everybody, thinks, but afraid to address. All right? So again, this topic is resetting relationships in 2022. This is part 1. Okay? And my 3 main points, and every one of this part of these series that I'm going to be talking about is, the first one is confronting ourselves. That's the first point. Well, I wouldn't say the first point, but you're going to hear me reiterate these 3 points throughout every series. And like I said, the first one is confronting ourselves. And confronting ourselves is simply this, right? And I'm going to use this season of Yuletide and happy holidays, right? Now, you have a lot of people out there, whether it's parents or siblings or whatever, and they're right home in depression, sulking. Why Kevin ain't called me? My God, you don't think you got to pick up the phone at least this Christmas? Jesus, Lord, I mean, come on. I'm still your brother. I'm still your sister. I still am your ma and your pa. So I guess your phone don't work 2 ways. See, this is the foolishness. Confronting yourself means I find fault in everybody else. I say this one don't call me. I say this one this and that. The reality is I'm a hypocrite. And 99.9% of us are hypocrites, including Kevin L A Ewing. Because you will see the fault in what you're doing to other people. And now you flip the coin and say, why this one didn't call me? Well, why didn't you call Sally? Why didn't you pick up the phone and call Sally? You saying how your brother didn't call you. You calling everybody. Child, they ask you, well, how Tom doing? Child, my God, I couldn't tell you when last I hear from him. He don't ever call you. I don't know what I do him. And look how you expand the nonsense by sharing this foolery with other people, but yet you want a relationship with your sibling or whoever it is that you say don't call you. Maybe that's the reason why they don't call you. You are unfair, you're biased, you're a hypocrite. So, in my first point in these teachings, in confronting ourselves, sit back and look at yourself. You know something, I always complain about other people. Let me take a look in the mirror. Let me see if I do the exact same thing. You know what? Mary is my friend. This woman's been good to me all these years. And I need to give her a call. I haven't called her in a while. Now you look at Tom, who you say don't call you, right? Now call yourself and say, I'm a hypocrite. Because I do it, you know. Oh yeah, man. I say to myself and say, I say, Kevin, you a hypocrite. You call these people hypocrite, you's a hypocrite. The very thing you complaining about, you doing right over there. But because nobody calling you out on it, you feel justified by it. And a lot of us are like that. We refuse to confront ourselves. Why? Why though? Because we want to justify our actions. Very simple. And that's the whole idea about this series. We're resetting relationships. To reset means to start from the beginning, clear the whole slate, and let's go back and start all over again. Because a lot of us have lost the reason why we established the relationship to begin with. If it's become so polluted, and guess what really made it polluted? Our selfishness. Everybody should bow to us. Everybody should call us. Everyone should give us a gift. Everyone should cater to us. And we're supposed to be sitting on some big throne, and as they come and drop their gift and bow and kiss our pinky finger and walk away and come back the next occasion to repeat the whole process, but we never reciprocated. Hypocrite, selfish. Well, I come to get you straight today. I ain't playing. I come out of the blocks in 2020, and I think January is the perfect month to have this particular series. You know, so people will see how the hypocrisy, and this from Christian to pastor to minister Kevin L A Ewing, hypocrite. I preaching to me too. Okay? We cannot keep pointing the fingers at others and not at some point see it in ourselves. So my first point, we have to confront ourselves. We have to. So many families are divided. Guess why they divided? They divided because every one of these selfish brutes believe that the other one should come call them or apologize to them, right? Now, let me tell you what is so ironic about these hypocrites, right? And this is why the relationship has to be reset. Each one of them have their version of what took place as to why they're not speaking to each other. So if you meet one of them right now, child, oh Lord, they're going to paint you a picture first. Paint you this picture, child, oh Lord, all I do, that's all you hear, right? All I do for them. I remember when they was broke. My God, who do you think they come to for money? Me. I take my last and I give them, and I can't believe this boy don't pick up the phone and call me. My God, what's wrong with him? You talk to the sister or the brother, I know what's wrong with Susie. Susie so moody, man. Yeah, you gotta just leave her alone. Everybody have their version of why they're not communicating with each other. Everybody. And guess what? When you boil down each version, it's a selfish version. You will never hear them say, nah, I gotta give it to her now. I don't call her. I don't check for her. I don't hate her, but I just said I don't have time to do it. You'll never hear that. Everyone is trying to justify their own selfish actions. All of them. Now, here is the tragedy. The tragedy is, whenever we don't make the effort to maturely reset our relationships, and a lot of you know this from last year, and a lot is going to happen this year. Unfortunately, one of the quickest resets of relationships is terminal illness or death. All of a sudden, everybody around your sick bed. Oh, Mary, who you ain't talked to for 300 years. Oh, Mary, we praying for you, and you're in our prayers, and I have all of my friends on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We all come in an agreement on Psalms and Proverbs. So you might get on my face, man. Stop this. Could you stop this? Could you stop this how much? Give me the dignity of being sick in peace or dying in peace. So what is your point you're making here, Mr. Ewing? My point is you still don't want to reset the relationship. Now you go straight into Hollywood behavior. You're an actress or an actor. Be real for once. Mary, I hate the fact that I have to come to your dying bed to make peace with you. Be real. Some people just fake their lives themselves straight off of this planet. They went straight into eternity acting. Nobody wants to be authentic. And this is why I'm telling you, my first point in this series is confronting you. You every minute in the mirror telling you how you can tell Sally off, how you can tell Mary off, how you can tell Kevin off. Point the finger in the mirror and say how you can tell yourself off. Get real, man. We got to, you cannot come into this year with the same mindset of hypocrisy, of being an actor, an actress, a hypocrite. You got to be real. So our first point is confronting ourselves. The second point is, in this series of resetting relationships in 2022, is seeking finally the good in the relationships that you have. Finally, you could talk about Kevin or Mary or John and not only dwell on the negative, but find something you think you can, out of all, you all been friends for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. You can't say one day, but now, one thing I must say now, when I was down to my last, she really helped me. When I was going through with my ex-husband, ex-wife, or my children was on drugs, she called me, he called me. I must say, how is it that the only thing that you find to be so memorable about this relationship is just what this one didn't call you, you needed to borrow some money, they didn't have it. What were the other times when you did get the money? What were the other times they did call you? Stop it. You cannot. How is it you God spared your life to come over in 2022? Only for you to start the record all over again, planning, I ain't gonna speak to this one, I ain't gonna talk to this one, I ain't gonna do this, I can make life hard for them, I can continue spiting them, I can continue be offended by the things that they say to me. How much longer are you gonna live like that? How much longer? Did you sign a contract with stupidity? Did you sign a contract with being spiteful, vindictive, offensive? At what point are you going to say to yourself, let me be an adult? Let me attempt to be mature? You have to set relationships in 2022. Who is this God? I don't know who he is. Who God is this? That if you were to die right now, you are convinced that you are going to open your eyes in heaven with this God whom you've never seen. But yet the people you see every day, you have poor relationships with. You hate them, you despise them. You make it a point you're not going to speak to them. So which heaven is this? Where is it located? Because I need to know where this is. Because I just don't know how you've allowed the devil to deceive you for so long. That the bitterness, the hate, the unforgiveness in your heart, you truly believe that there is a heaven awaiting your arrival. Well, I might as well just abandon my Christianity and live the way I want to live with the hope and expectation that no matter how I live on this earth, as long as nobody here sees how filthy, dirty, unforgiving my heart is, I believe that I'm going to be ushered into the bosom of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. People nowadays have become, listen, if Hollywood only know the untapped resources they have in this world in terms of characters, that's what most people are. They're characters. They could put on a role when funerals come and so on, everybody, they know they don't speak to each other. They know they hate one another. But why? When you find out why, and that's what I'm getting to, why, it is always going to boil down to something selfish. Where and again too, it got a level of control, but they don't smile the way I feel they should be smiling. They don't what? No, when she came to my house the other day and she did not take her shoes off at the door. Did you tell her to do it? Does she know that is what she does supposed to do? But she's supposed to figure it out. Hypocrite. So our second point is making a conscious effort in seeking the good in relationships. This is all a part of resetting it. Our first one is confronting ourselves. And the third one, and this is not limited, that we won't have some more points, but these three basic ones here is what's going to govern this teaching. The third one is learning to accept truth. That's key. Kevin, what do you mean by that? Stop trying to change people. Stop trying to make people something they're not. Stop getting angry because this is the way I do it. You don't do it this way. Why are you upset with me because I do it this way? Nobody infringed on what you like to eat, what colors you like, where you like to drive, what's your habits or pleasures. Nobody is trying to control that. So where do you get off? How do you feel? Or what gave you the authority to believe that you could stop me from being me only to be what you want me to be? You're not case, man. You sick, something wrong with you. These are the type of people who are the cause of relationships either not being able to reset or the original cause why the relationship went south from day one. Because people cannot accept the fact that all of us are different. All of us bring something different to the table. And the best thing you could do for you is accept truth. This is who they are. As long as they're not being rude or disrespectful, or and those general areas where there ought to be a uniformity to establish respect between each other. But don't tell me you don't like the way I say so and so, or whatever the case may be. Oh man. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, and I talking to my brothers and sisters in Jamaica. And I said, boy, you know something? I just love the Jamaican culture. I don't care where you find a Jamaican in this world, they talk in Jamaican patois. They ain't trying to adopt nothing from no America, nothing from no Bahamas, nothing nowhere. I could hear a Jamaican from a mile away. And I was sharing this also with my wife, and I was telling her, I said, boy, D, listen. People love Bahamian accent, you know. Sometimes when you first listen to us, just like with Jamaicans, because we go so fast, you don't understand, but listen for a while and you'll get it quite clearly. I love a person who is authentic. Everywhere I went in this world and I saw a Jamaican, I know them before I saw them. Either they're wearing a Jamaican shirt with their flag on it, I could hear it in their voice, their food, everything is, hey, I'm Jamaican, take it or leave it. And that's the way you ought to be. When I say that, right, again, I'm not saying if a person is rude and think, no. I'm saying basic, this is your makeup, this is you. And when I see someone trying to make you them, oh no, child, I don't think you should do that because I personally wouldn't do it. Well, you and personally get out of my life. I do what I want to do and you do what you want to do. How is it that you could do what you want to do all your life, but you put on restrictions how I should do, how I should? No. Unless, again, don't get me wrong, unless it's constructive criticism, unless it's something to make me better. But when someone is trying to change your identity, no. So the third point here is learn to accept truth. Learn to accept the truth of who this person is. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and they really upset me. And I made it clear to them that they were upsetting me. And it had to do with a relationship. And they're explaining to me in a relationship, but Kevin, and they're very pious and very calm. And all of it I already picked up was all a show. Not for me, but this is how they are. This is what they do to manipulate. Because I told them in the meeting, I said, you're a manipulator. And I explained to them, and they got offended. And I said, this is what I'm saying now. You use the offense tool to manipulate. And that is what this person was doing. So they're telling me about their partner. Kevin, I do my best. I'm very patient. And I want this relationship to work. But I don't know, he doesn't listen, where she don't even realize she's a controller. He does nothing what I say. He does nothing what you say. Explain that to me, elaborate this. Before I make an assessment here, I won't be clear. and I tell him to do this and do that, so I said, is he 6? Maybe 7. So she looked at me like, oh, why are you saying that? No, because you speak as if you're talking about a child. And I just want to make sure before I give my input whether you're talking about a child or are you discussing an adult. So I watched the shift. I watched from this passive, meek, humble person to now she becomes aggressive. Because whenever you call them out now, whenever you point out, and this is how they know who they are. I don't know why you would say something like that because we're discussing him and it's like you're attacking me. No, I'm not attacking. So I went in my calm mood after that. I said, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm not attacking you. I said, you would like for us to believe that that's not going to happen to you today. I said, sometimes we have to look at ourselves while pointing the fingers at others. And come to find out for the most part, we're almost 100% just like the very thing we're complaining about. I don't think she'll speak to me again, but nevertheless, controllers, because they've done it for so long, don't realize they're trying to control others. They don't see it that way. And they will always justify it by saying, well, I was only saying, I just trying to give some advice. I don't know why you offended. They always try to switch it on you to make themselves look like they're just the one lending support. No, man. No. The best way you could deal with a controller or someone who think by raising their voice, the best way, I learned this a long time ago, the best way is to flip it on them. The best way. So when they start getting loud and stuff, are you okay? Nobody wants to hit it when they're in their rage. Why are you shouting? There's no reason to shout. I'm not shouting. Well, you are. I'm afraid of you. See, you gotta, I tell you gotta beat them at their own game. But the thing is, and you're not in a competition with them, you're trying to make clear to them, this is what I've been telling you all along. Look at how you deal with stuff. Whenever you feel you don't have control, whenever you feel as if someone is getting the upper hand on you, you go from controlling to combat mode. No, man. So don't try that here. So accepting the truth about something or someone is accepting who they are. This is who they are. Okay? And the only time you get to make a comment in terms of it, if you're going to give constructive criticism, all right? And the best way to do it, and I've learned this too through counseling, the best way to do it is show your own faults and use you as an example and say, I remember when I used to do this, blah, blah, blah. Let them see, hey, look, I'm not talking from a perfectionist standpoint, but I'm showing you that I once had that problem. Many of us haven't, don't realize it. Either you discover the problem by yourself or someone had to point it out to you. So this is how you don't criticize in a condescending way, but using yourself. I say, look here, you're not the only one that is going through this. I am. This person is, whatever the case may be. No, man. So a lot of people, if not the majority of people, the very thing they're complaining about in their friendships with others or their relationships with others, is they have the exact same problem. They have the exact same problem, but they will never confront themselves. And I find to be a wicked person when they, rather than going to the person they have the problem with in the relationship, instead they go to look to build support for their selfish reasons. Johnny, I didn't want to call you. I don't normally do this because I don't believe in talking about people. That's the first lie right there. So what makes Johnny so special that even though you talk about nobody else, you not only pick Johnny, but you choose to disclose this information with him. Because you know why? In your wicked heart, Johnny is no good just like you. And Johnny would never put you in your place, but entertain your nonsense. And all you're looking for is to bring more people on board. Yeah, Johnny, I try to talk to Kevin. He is. He think he know everything. He's so offensive. She already know Johnny don't like you. Well, Kevin, yeah, child, you don't got to tell me. I agree. You can't tell him nothing. Know everything. My God. He know everything. So how could you ever win? You can't. So the person who's doing that, this is just more evidence of how evil they are. Go and confront the person. If you feel the way that you feel, be a woman, be a man, and go to them. And don't go to them in anger. In fact, pray and fast about it and ask God to subdue your anger. And go there with the mindset that even if they reject what you're saying, even if they cuss you out, you are an adult, a mature adult, to go and say, Sally, Mary, John, whoever their names are, listen, X, Y, Z was the case. And another thing too, don't go there levying the entire blame on them. Think about the entirety of that conversation that led to that. Think about your attitude. Think about that inappropriate thing that you never mentioned to the other people you told it to. Think about those things and make sure all of that, and then tell them, well, yes, I did say so and so, and yes, I see why you would have a situation with me and get offended. That is true, but I'm here to make peace. And what I did was wrong. Tell them your part where you was wrong. But don't come there like you are Mr. or Mrs. Justice and just, no, don't you try that. Because you're not coming there to make it right. What you're coming there is to prove that you are right. No, it ain't gonna work. All right? So let's go through a few scriptures. But like I say, those 3 points we're gonna be dealing with, okay? The first scripture I want us to go to is Proverbs 17, verse 9. It's going to be a key scripture. Proverbs 17 and verse 9. Here we go. Proverbs 17 and verse 9 says, he that covereth a transgression, some translation says, he that covereth an offense, seeketh love. Right. What does that mean? Exactly what I just said, referring to the last point that I have there. You know, always accept the truth. If you know that's how this person is, accept them for who they are. So how do I do that, Kevin? Well, look at what the Bible says. He that covered a transgression. This is something that is offending you, right? Well, then go past it. Why? The Bible says he that does that is seeking love. I ain't looking to pull out your points and where you're bad here and always being critical and negative about every time I talk to you about something that's something negative. No, if you truly love this person, if you truly want a good relationship with them, then there's certain things you just dismiss and ignore. This is who they are. But let them see through your behavior, which should be better, that they could say, boy, well, I admire Kevin, you know. I mean, as negative as things are, he would never say negative stuff. No matter what I come to him with, no matter how depressed I am, he will always find the good in it. So what are you doing now? You're challenging them without even chastising them through your behavior. I'm talking to somebody, man. Somebody, I need to get you all Grammy them on the line and mommy and cousin and no good pookie them online, because they need to hear these things as it relates to relationship. Because at the end of the day, the adhesive, what is supposed to keep that relationship together, which is respect, is not there anymore, because everybody feel they have the right to be disrespectful for selfish reasons. Everyone have their version of why things went wrong. No, the Bible says in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. Meaning if we all come together and have counsel on what has happened here, we are better able to walk away with a better result. As opposed to these three parties that are at odds with each other, each one of them have their version as not only why the relationship went south, but their personal, they were offended. They were talked down to. They never their part they played to bring about the whole of what's happening here. So the reality is you're being deceptive, because in telling your story, there's a lot of things that you're omitting, and suspiciously, the things that you're omitting are the things that you did that caused all of this. But if you mention that, then whoever is listening to this will immediately label you as the troublemaker. I'm talking to somebody trying to help you. So the Bible says here in Proverbs chapter 7, verse 9, he that covered a transgression is seeking love. I'm not looking to point out your flaws. I'm not looking to control your life. I'm not looking to tell you everything you do wrong in life. What I'm looking for is for us to have a solid, genuine, authentic relationship. And for the most part, according to the scriptures, there's some things in your life that I don't like. I have to just dismiss it, as opposed to always pointing at you as if my life is perfect. What is that called, Mr. Ewing? It's called respect. And what is that actually? Respect is the adhesive or the sticky substance that keep any relationship together. The minute respect is gone, you better be gone also. You have to want different. So he says, he that covered a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeated a matter separate friends. Repeat the matter like how? You keep telling me, oh, I don't like how you say that. I was offended. So, okay, let me see if I get this straight. See, because I don't see this can become a problem. Why don't you write a list as to what you are comfortable with in me talking to you? Because I think it'll be better that way. So let me look at the list now. Okay. All right. Let me look at the list. 609 points here. And this is how I should talk to you. But you don't have a list from me. So that means you could speak freely because we're friends. And because we're friends, my mind is not set to be offended by everything that you say. But because you have programmed yourself with this offense spirit, I now got to walk on eggshells around you. I got to be careful what I say, almost like a plane coming in for landing. I got to really be focused whenever I'm around you. I'm not enjoying this. This is not a relationship. Prison guards and prisoners have a better relationship than this. So it's nonsense. So a person who is easily and always offended, I want to be clear here right now, they will always see the fault in other people and never, ever, ever in this life or the life to come see the fault in themselves. Everything, and you know what? The reality is, those who have that offensive spirit, it's a manipulative spirit because the idea is to control the parties whom they are always offended with. I don't like how you speak. You talk too loud. And you came in here and I noticed that you had on your high-heeled shoes, and you knew I had ceramic tiles and those black things on your heel could scuff it, but I didn't scuff it. I'm just saying, there's no need for you to get offended. You see how they switch on you? You see how these hypocrites switch on you? And I'm telling you, let me be real with you. Let me just cut through the chase. You should end all relationships with such a person right now. Ended. What is the purpose of that relationship if you cannot be you? But this person is subtly trying to create you to what they want to be. And the truth is, even what they're trying to create you to be, they don't even want to, because they will never be satisfied with whatever version of you they want to create. It will always be switching. No, man. So end that relationship. I am not going to be friends with anybody who is always offended at what I do. Get out of here. You're not going to control me. And like I always tell you guys, the quickest way to end our friendship is you to exert any form of control. And in my case, anything that remotely resembles that on a consistent basis, this friendship will, first of all, ain't gonna be no friendship. Because you are disrespecting me by me trying to be me when I do not do it to you. You are free to do and be you. And a lot of people do that in relationships. And that's why the relationship have to be reset, start over from the beginning. Okay? And let's work these things out and do everything within our power to avoid these pitfalls again. But too many people, it's a filthy disease we have in the world. Everybody is trying to control somebody else. Nobody wants to everybody's trying to impose their will on some, from the church to the government to family. Everywhere you find this wicked, slimy spirit trying to control somebody else. When I raised my son, listen, he knew the rules. He knew what he was supposed to do and what to do. He knew that. I don't have to reiterate this. Whenever he falls on the line, I correct him, okay? If I have to do it more than once, then I'll have to take it a step further and put some licks on him, okay? But at the end of the day, I never control his life because I always wanted him to be a man. My job was to teach him to be a man. Teach him how to change a tire. Teach him how to wash dishes. Teach him how to make up his own bed. This is what men do, because one day you're going to have to do this on your own. So I want to groom you to be a human, to make your own decisions. So whenever I hear from you after age 18, you probably come to me for some advice, but not, daddy, you think you could do this to me? Daddy. No, I didn't raise you to lean on me. I raised you to stand on your own 2 feet. Because what I did in front of you and what you saw me do all of my life, all of this was in an effort to make you a better person. That's why I say to you, my kids owe me nothing. I brought them here. It is my job to take care of them up until a minimum of age It's a maximum of age 18. Hopefully, I would have instilled everything in them. Yes, continue assisting with their education, advice, and so on. But any parent who treats an adult like a child, and any man or woman that panders to such nonsense, they are all equally as guilty. You have damaged that person's life. You have stolen their identity because and anyone, let me be clear, anyone that marries someone like that, you begging for trouble. You begging because the reality is you're not in a relationship with them. You are in a relationship with them and their ma or their daddy or their mommy and the daddy, and sisters and brothers. Anytime you roll up on a relationship and all you could hear in that relationship from your so-called partner before you marry them, mommy say, daddy say, sister say, uncle say, run, run, run till you fall out and bust your mouth, and then get back up, wipe the blood off, and keep running. Because sad will be your cry. All of the signs are there that you should run for your life. It's not a relationship. It's not. It's a cult. Check this out. God forbid the family didn't like you prior to getting married to them. My Lord. Lord, you all hear this? I gave somebody some advice right now. You all talking food, but you're going on to all the next week. Take my foolish advice, yeah? Take my foolish advice. If the decisions in your relationship has to be juried over by your to-be spouse family members, you might as well go drink a whole cup of cyanide right now and just cut through the chase, because that's what they're going to lead you to do. Cut it right now. Say, okay, so this is what I got to deal with? Okay. You don't have no hydrochloric acid. Like, put some ice in it for me because I want to go down some more, okay? Because that's what's going to happen. And a lot of people, they see this, but what they also see is he or she got a good job. They got a master's degree. That's what they have. Wake up. That's what they have. If they pick up and leave today tomorrow, that they gone with what they have. That has nothing to do with you. Okay? So therefore, when you see they always have to consult mommy, and they say, mommy say. But what you say though? Well, I just saying, mommy say, well, if you, and daddy say, and daddy is a. So when it's time for us, when we get married, it's time to have sex. I mean, do we have to consult them? I mean, I just want to know. So daddy, how should I do it? Listen, I'm laughing, but this is common. I'm telling you what I deal with all the time. This is common situations. And the reason why it's common, ladies and gentlemen, because it is not ever addressed, be it in families, be it in church, be it in whatever. Most people are actors and actresses. They pretend as if it's all well, and then it's not all well. So anytime you're in a relationship and the relationship decisions is predicated on your partner's parents or family members, I am begging you, if you're not married to us yet, I am begging you, even if you already paid for the reception, and even if you spend $50,000, accept the loss. Trust me, that $50,000 loss by dropping everything right now would be a drop in the bucket compared to the headaches and the stress you're about to embark in the future. When the writing was on the wall from day one that you had no say. If it wasn't mommy or daddy way or both parents' way, then it wasn't happening in this relationship. Who in their right mind would want to be in a relationship like that? Who would want to be with a man or woman, okay, who's supposed to be a grown adult making their own decisions? Or at minimum, the decision should be between me and my wife, or you and your husband, or whatever. That decision from that home should be generated from there. Am I saying you can't seek mommy and daddy for advice? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when the advice hinges on them and not the couple who are involved, you got a problem. You got a problem. And worst case scenario, and I'm telling you, I'm not telling you stuff that I read. I'm telling you stuff I had to personally deal with. One of the most tragic cases in any relationship is where a man or a woman is so devoted to their extended family meaning now mommy, daddy, and siblings, that they don't see their wives or even their husband and children as their immediate family. Let me show how jack up this is, because I've had cases like this. I've had a case, and not one case, several of them. A man is complaining about his wife. And he's saying how his wife don't do this and his wife don't do that and blah, 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 blah. Now, if you only listen to his story and he's putting so much emphasis on it, while you may not fully side with him because you know there's always two sides to the story, the way that he's putting this is so calculating that it's very difficult to even see the other person's side if they even would have come and sit in front of you, unless you're good at differentiating these things. So anyway, long story short, how the flaws came about in this story, and this was without me ever meeting the wife, was the things that he said about his parents and his siblings, such as, you know, I bought a gift for my siblings, children, and so on, and blah, blah, blah. And because I'm familiar with such instances, I already know what run he was on. So I said, so tell me something. So does these same siblings buy your children's gift? And right there, he paused. Now I could see he wanted to lie. So I hit him. I say, so come on. I mean, clearly if you give them, I'm sure they give it to you, right? They brought your kid's gift, because I knew he was going to try to dress it up. So he says, no, they don't. And then they don't have to. They don't have to. I say, hold on now, hold on, because now I'm beginning to see why the wife will have some issues. Immediately, as usual, they now become combative. See, as long as you're not interrupting them, or as long as you take their side, they're going to keep with the passive, deceptive version of the story. The minute common sense kick in when you listen to this and you now begin to throw some jabs in this, they now become, I say, now calm down, boss. No need to get uptight here. You came here for us to discuss this matter, to resolve it, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I said, now, based on what you have said, you're saying to me that during Christmas and any whatever holiday, you go and buy your 4 siblings' children gifts and so on. I am asking you, which you hesitantly answered, I asked you, do they buy your children stuff? And rather than you saying, no, they don't, you immediately went into defense mode to protect them. What does that tell me, an experienced person in this area with dealing with people? I don't need to meet with your wife right now because I already know what she's dealing with. And the fact is, you have an issue with separating the love and the respect that you should have, that should be priority with your immediate family, you mixing it up with your extended family. So all I could hear was crickets after that, because it was the truth. It was the truth. And what was happening, like in every other case like that, when the wife brings it up or bring it to their attention, they cuss, they carry on, they raise their voice, all in an attempt to change the narrative or to intimidate the partner, never to bring it up again. And you could see it's witchcraft, because at the same time, whenever you see this case, and trust me, 99.9% of the time when you see that scenario right there, the parents are the cause of it. Because they grew the children up in a warped way. Kevin, what do you mean by that? Okay, they would say stuff that may seem reasonable and fair on the surface. So they would tell the children, now y'all look out for one another no matter what happened. Y'all are sisters and brothers, and y'all should always support one another. That sounds nice, and it is right. But the level that they're putting it on is that they're inculcating into these children's head that no matter what, whether you are married, it doesn't matter. You take your sister's side. You take your brother's side. So now, even if they would have called a family member, his sister or brother over, which would be a waste of time, to now see the wrong what their brother's doing, well, I won't get in that. I know. But I see what Johnny's saying, though, because they're trained that way. And the mommy and the daddy supported it all their lives. So the children now have a misconception of respecting a marital union, meaning you shouldn't even be in this. Don't call me to your house to sort no marital stuff. No. So this is what you see, why relationships will never get better, because the very people, and that's why I can deal with the parents later on in these series. A lot of them are responsible for it. A lot of them pretend as if they're not a part of it. When the truth is, when the wife or the husband is in there, they pulling their child aside. Now, child, now now you gotta be wise now. Make sure now ain't nothing in her name. Because you see them, they don't stay married long. They come take all your things, child. Make sure you have a secret. You're teaching the child how to be divided. Now, you never did that with your husband. So you see what I say, how hypocritical people are? You're destroying this relationship inside out. But you feel justified because you feel you're protecting your child. And he's just as stupid because he's going, before he puts his family first, you who don't live your life, he's taking your advice. Your erroneous advice that is ongoing, destroying the relationship. I'm trying to help somebody. I'm trying to help you. If you ain't married yet, run. Run for your life. Run. If you keep hearing mommy, 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 daddy say, uncle, run, Forrest, run. The pain that you will suffer now, the losses they are small. In fact, they are microscopic compared to the pain, compared to the sleepless night, the frustration, the stealing of your peace that will happen in the future. Run for your life. These people are the most dangerous set of gangsters ever. They are gangs. They're not normal people. They are gangs. They think about themselves only. And then you have the parents who are the chiefs in these things. You could never get justice from them. Never. The wife or the husband will never get a compliment from them. Never get a sorry. Never say, you will never hear them say, now, Susie, you're wrong. You will never hear that. You will never in this life. Never. So my advice to you, stay away from them, including the children. Run. Run for your life. Like I say, run till you fall on, bust your mouth, knock out your teeth, leave those teeth on the floor and keep running. That's how far you will get from them. You always replace them teeth on the road. Keep running for your life. You will never, ever enjoy life. Never. I promise you that. You will never. Run. I cannot. Listen, run for your life. Run for your life. You will never have peace. Never. Never. Because everything is going to be about his or her mommy or his or her daddy. But you know, daddy was offended the other day when you was preaching and you was talking about witchcraft. And he said, when you said witchcraft, you looked at him as if he does do witchcraft. And that's why he wasn't saying much and he didn't come to the Christmas party and the New Year's this and. So what that have to do with me? So are you implying that I should live a life where I must always be conscious about making your father happy? All of y'all get from Rami, okay? No, man. I mean, for those of you that are not married, take my simple, seemingly foolish advice. All right? Take my advice. And for the most part, we see the signs, but we tend to ignore them because of one of two reasons. One, we think we could change the person. And two, we think it's no big deal. Those things will just go away. No. I always say to people, if you really want to know how a person is, don't check for them because they can always be an actress. You know, you tell me something. What are your hobbies? Well, I like walking the beach and I love reading and traveling. And yeah, you don't even have a passport though. But anyway, we can go there. So obviously they're not going to tell you the truth because they like you and they want you. Tell them, take me to your people's house. Take me to Uncle Bubba them. Take me to Pookie and them. Take me to Mama them. See, they don't have to be on their P's and Q's for you. They can always be themselves. Now, here's what I want you to see. Now, whatever you see in them, especially a consistency, trust me on this, a piece of that in this one right here. Now, the question here is, are you willing to deal with this? Now, how are you going to know that? Now, look at their relationships. All of them divorced. They on their 5th and 6th and 7th husband. But every one of them saying the problem was the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 fellas they were married to or women they were married to. But they were never the common denominator. Now, you don't have to have a piece of brain here now to make a decision as to whether or not to go forward with this person. I'm trying to help you. Let me give you some more scriptures because you look confused, right? Okay. Let's go to Proverbs 10, verse 12. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 12. I love this one. Listen what it says. Hatred stirred up strife. Why your mother-in-law always cause problem when she come here? Why your father-in-law? Why your sister? Why your brother? Every time they come here, strife does happen between, because they hate you. Listen to the comments that they make every time they come here. So this is the mother-in-law or the uncle, brother, whatever. Johnny, I don't know who cooked this food in here. My God. This for the puppy. Hatred stirred up, this Bible, this ain't my opinion, stirred up strife. But I blame you though. Anybody who disrespect you in your home should not come to your home no more. Whether that's their mommy, daddy, uncle, whether that's the president of the United States or the Bahamas. Why, Mr. Ewing? Why are you saying stuff like that? Because respect is the adhesive to any relationship. If there is no respect, there's nothing there. The relationship is now based on how the one who is causing problem feel when they come there. They determine when they will have a relationship with you. You know what? Today is Friday. Sorry, today is Saturday. Let me go to today. I feel like having a relationship. Let me go to today. But you know what? They say one word to me wrong. I can just shut the whole thing down. Why would you want to be in company with someone like that? Why? Why would you want someone like that? And I don't care. That could be your mommy, your daddy. All of y'all could go if y'all have a problem, because no one should be invading your peace. If you can't have a peace of mind in your own home, you might as well die. Where else you can get it? No, so you got to set order. Oh yeah. You got too many people that's get away because, you know, they saying that's mommy child. You don't want to make mommy mad. Well, mommy can get mad today. You don't want to make daddy mad because, you know, I go, we can see how he go today. See, because until you put some pep in your step and set the record straight, then you are an enabler. You are encouraging them. You and your spouse who's telling you, oh, don't say nothing to them. Don't say nothing to them. Now, I agree. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful. All of that, I agree. Let's sit down. And then I'm going to set the record straight. This is my place. This is my home. This is not your house. So when I come to your house, I'm subject to the rules of your house. Likewise, when you come here. Yes, this is your daughter. I'm your son-in-law, or whatever the case may be. This is your son-in-law. I'm your daughter, whatever. But in order for all of us to work on one accord, we must respect each other's boundaries. You being a parent, me being a son-in-law, she being a daughter-in-law, whatever the case may be, does not alter, delete, amend, or even augmentate the rules. Very clear. Now, two things can erupt from here. You can either respect me, or you can poke your motor off and leave. And please do not come back. You have to set the record straight in 2022 if you want to reset your relationship. How long are you going to be a doormat? How long are you going to say, well, I ain't want to say this, I ain't want to say that, and look what it has caused you. No peace of mind. None. They pick up the phone, they call your house, right? They call your house. This is the in-laws now. Sally there. Good afternoon, Ms. Robinson. I'm calling for Sally. What you can do? Yes, Sally. See, that's your mommy again. Oh, Lord. And you know what? You deserve what that woman doing to you. Until you set the record straight, it will always be that way. How could it be fixed if you entertaining the same thing that is giving the same result? How? And it isn't a matter of being rude. Set the record straight. And if he or she have a problem with their parent, all of them could go, because at the end of the day, they have made up in their mind that they're not going to respect you. Hence, their constant behavior. Because they think they're right. This is normal for them, but this shouldn't be normal for you. Only animals behave this way. So you got to set the animals right. I'm trying to help you. That's all I'm trying to do. So Proverbs chapter 10, verse 12 says, hatred stirred up strife. That's why strife stay in the house. Hatred. Hatred. She probably hate you and mad with you. I ain't gonna tell you that because you wouldn't agree with mommy and daddy. He probably hates you because you wouldn't agree with his mommy and daddy. Well, the Bible says We can know if hate there because there's going to be a consistency of strife among the people involved. The second part of the scripture says, but love covered all sins. But listen, let's look at it another way. And that's why I feel there must be a point where at some point, one of the parties, more so the more mature one, because they're more likely to do this, should arrange some kind of meeting to bring these things to a head to seek a resolve. I do not believe in just walking away and not talking to anybody and nobody know what's going on and everybody have their version of what it is. Everybody believe that they're right. No, as tough as this is, let's try to sit down and lay the cards on the table. This is what I feel. And the one who is more mature would see it in a more mature way. So that means when I come to the table, I'm not coming here with petty stuff. And petty stuff would mean assumptions. Well, I feel the other day when you reversed out of the yard and you sped off, you were angry. I never told you that, so this is irrelevant. I felt that the other day when you came here, and you said good morning, but you didn't say it in the tone like you had an attitude. Did I tell you I have an attitude? No, right? So this is irrelevant. Now let's discuss matters that are relevant, okay, to make this entire scenario better. Let's start with this. You call here. I answered the phone. You never said good morning. You never said how you doing. Let me speak to my daughter. That's a real issue. So these are the things that we have to address. And the reason why we have to do this is because you have people today, 60s, 70s, 80s, ready to hit the grave and still holding an offense for a family member, still don't speak to certain family members, still when you have different functions at different time of the year, this family member with this crew, this family member, always a divide. But guess what? You all hear the most chilling part of all of this? All of them call themselves Christian, every last one. Every last one say they know God. I'm confused. I will meet this God that is we talking about. I will meet him bad. I will meet him. I have to meet him. Because I know it's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now that piece I'm sure of. That piece I'm certain of. Everyone crying Christian. Everyone crying, oh Lord, thank you for bringing me over into 2022, Jesus. It was only because of your grace, merciful Father, oh Lord. All of the chances he gave you, giving you strength to come into 222, only for you to cling and clench that I will not speak to my brother, I will not speak to my sister, and my sister children, if they don't come and hail me, I wouldn't blow breath to them. But I love you, Jesus. Oh God, I will die for you. I wouldn't let nobody take away my salvation because I love Jesus. But these bastards over here, hypocrite. Which Jesus you talking about? Like I said the other night, in Spanish, Jesus is spelled Jesus is spelled Jesus. So I think you meant Jesus. And I would agree with you with everything you said if you really met him. And I know you met him, but you could not mean our Savior, Jesus Christ. And the sad part, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of them on their way to hell, and they don't know. But they have justified, I'm a man, the woman of God, I'm a deaconess, I'm a pope, I'm a this, I'm a apostle, I'm this, like that expunge hate. Like titles expunge hate and bitterness. But you all better get real. Some parents, so they don't speak to their children all because the child will not conform to the parent will. These big children, 40, 50, 60 years old. You're all crazy. That devil of control, I mean, mastering these people. The child want to live their own life. And the part would get me, because again, I got to bring it reminds me of churches. Jesus Christ never, ever controlled any disciple. None of them. Jesus taught them within his 3-year ministry. And what did he say? Go into the world and preach the gospel. Then he gave some guidelines. If you go someplace that they resist you, dust your shoe off and keep trucking. Keep going. You don't got no reason to discuss nothing with them. Either they take it or leave it, but you keep going. Jesus never said, now listen now I want y'all to speak like me. And if you ain't behaving like when I do the mannerism, if you ain't doing that, you are not under my covering. It's just sickening how this controlling spirit has infiltrated every sector of society. And the one who's doing the controlling don't want nobody to control them. I don't get it. I must be living in the twilight zone. Because sometimes I wonder if only me think this way. Why is it? And that's why a lot of people cannot be. That man and that relationship could never be who we want him to be because his wife won't control him. That woman in the relationship could never be whom she wanted to be because he won't control her. He won't tell her when to go, when to come, how much money to spend. She got to give an itinerary to him like a little child. Come to your husband now. Let me see a report for the day. Okay, you went to the bathroom, you urinate twice. Okay, I see that. All right. Now, hold on. We got a problem here. From the bedroom to the front room is 30 steps. I see you have 39 here. Could you please give me a report on this, please? Right now. I need to know why you have 39 and it's only 30. Who was you in here with? See, these are the nutcases you all decide to marry. These are the people who you all want to spend the rest of your life with in bondage with. Listen, the signs are always there. You choose not to pay attention to the sign. If you want a life at minimum of peace, then you better be very careful of the person and by extension the family you're getting involved with. You better. Trust me, I hear stories every day. Every day I hear stories. Every single day. Every day. And the finality of those conversations, Kev, I sorry the day I met this person. Because everybody, and mind you, the one who's telling me this, I feel for them, but guess what? And I have to point this out to them. I said, but you had a level of control also on this person you were trying to control. What you mean by that? Because in your mind, you continued to conduct business with them in terms of marrying them because deep down, by your own admission, you felt you could have changed them. That's controlling. That's controlling. You never accepted the truth for who they are. You knew they were a mean person. You knew they were never faithful. You met them. You know how you met them? They were cheating with you on their partner. So what you think was going to happen to you? You think all of a sudden, now that he done had something with you, he's going to become this saint and don't want anybody else? No. What you did is you validated to him that you are willing to accept his behavior. Now that he did it, you have an issue. But you didn't thought that when he was doing it on his partner with you. I'm trying to help you. Don't get mad at me. I'm trying to help you. So the Bible says this in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 17. It says here, he is in the, sorry, not 17. Proverbs chapter 10, verse, where was I? This person just sent this thing to me. Give me 1 second here. Oh no, I was looking at Proverbs 10 and 12 again. Sorry, Proverbs 10 and 12 again. Hatred stirred up strife, but love covered sins. Here's another one I want to look at. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 25. That's what I'm trying to look at. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 16. Proverbs chapter 25. Let's look at verse 16. All right? Proverbs chapter 25, verse 16. Now listen to this. It says, "Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee." Listen. "Lest thou be filled therewith and vomited." What does that mean, Kevin? That is so off from what we're talking about. Honey, you don't mean honey. You're missing the principle of what this is saying. Forget what you're hearing, but look at the principle, the underlying thing here. It says, what is honey? Honey is something sweet, something pleasurable to eat, right? Very sweet. He says, he's asking the question, have you found honey? Have you found something you love? Have you found something that garners your attention? Because honey is just a symbol of what it is that you love or that you like. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled. Meaning, be balanced. Okay? You found someone that you love. All right? Don't be overbearing. Don't be always trying to be cautious. You ever meet people like that? A lot of people I know like that. You're going away. Oh, Lord, now be careful now. You know the variant out there now. Put on your mask and your ski stuff and your helmet and your motorbike helmet. And what? Be careful now. And a lot of people who grew up under parents like this, they become the same thing. The children. Now, child, you're going to college now. Keep your windows closed and make sure you call the police every time you're leaving from your dorm to your car. Oh, Lord. Listen to fair. Be balanced. Yes, we all know there are dangers out there. But why are you focusing more on the danger than the good things that's happening in life? So with the scriptures saying, okay, whatever it is that you're dealing with, be balanced about it. Because if you take too much of it like it ended, you will begin to vomit it up. A lot of people don't know how to be balanced in life. A lot of my friends, every time you see them, they working, they going, they working. And I say to them, why when you're going to take a break for you? But in their mind, they feel like, hey, I'm the man, or I have to bring the bread. And okay, and like I always say, if you were to die today or tomorrow, who is now going to win the bread? Are they going to pull you back from the grave and, I don't know, probably put some brain up in you, some software, something, and get you working again? No, you have to learn to balance in life. Balance even in your relationships with other people. You have to see the only way you could be balanced in this life is you have to be true to yourself. Is this thing that I'm complaining to my children about? Think about it. How many things that your children do that annoy you, you did the same thing to your parents when you were their age? You did the exact same thing to your parents. In fact, your parents pointed out to you, child, Tom used to do the exact same thing when you was this boy age or this girl age. But you won't kill them, you won't whoop them. You're a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite in the sense that you would never sit the child down and say, you know, Mary, I used to do the same thing. Don't do this. Or talk to people. And that's something we don't do anymore. We don't talk to people. We just go on social media and hide behind some fake image or even show our own image and just hurl insults and stuff. I told you the fool the other day, this guy who's supposed to be a pastor, right? He comes on my page. I'm talking about how people giving seed to these crook pastors, the one who is deserving of the crook title. And I said that there's no way in the world that you should be giving money to someone to get the promises of God. He does the same thing to his church, obviously. So he couldn't sit back and just observe it, disagree, and move on. He decides to come on my page and say, I talk as if I'm a warlock against the things of God. Again, changing the narrative to now knock out what I'm saying. And that's how people are. They cannot look at something and disagree and keep moving. What kind of people are these? Are the exact people I'm talking about right now? They're controllers. And it tells you how he is in his church. It tells you how he is in his home. And if you have children, God forbid what those children go through, you cannot have an opinion. You cannot feel or express your way in your space, in your environment, before they feel they could come in. And that's why I tell anyone who come on my page, and that's from my pastors to apostle friends, bishops, I will embarrass you because I want to show you, stay in your lane. If you don't agree, then move on. Delete the person. There are so many other options you have. When you come into somebody else's space and try to show them up in their space, complete and total respect. And what did I tell you before? Any human being that attempt to control Kevin Ewing, through such means also, I will dismiss you. I dismiss that fool, I delete that fool, and I block that fool because they are fools. Respect other people. If you don't agree, then you don't agree. How many things I face with daily that I don't agree with? How many things? Should I sit back every day and throw a tantrum? I'd be an insane person. And that's what happened to people like them. They can never respect the space of other people. And what they come with, which is what this fool did, is to be a bully. Let me come in and I showed that bully how really to be a bully. And what I did, and I know people will say, well, Kevin, oh Lord, don't call the man a fool. No. You better sit down before I give you a piece of this. What I'm saying to you is you got to stop them in their tracks. The minute the respect of the relationship is violated, you only could go downhill from here. So you got a choice to make. You shut this fool down altogether. Now, if they come back and apologize, then we can make it work. But if you want to continue ranting, because at first when he said it, I let his comment go, and I came back at him. But now you want to run on in my space? No, man. And I cannot respect a person that does that. I cannot. There are many apostles and bishops and pastors on my Facebook feed and many other social media feeds who believe highly in seeds and all this foolishness, who post on their wall about sowing seed. There is no way on this planet will I ever go in their space and tell them, you wrong, I have my view, and my view is reserved for my space. That's what they believe, then run with it. I don't agree with it, but there's no way I will invade your space and show you up before your followers by trying to push my point. That's the controller. Why you stay in your lane? If this is what you believe, stay where you are. See, but they don't know when they roll up on me. I keep telling them, this ain't, I ain't your regular preacher. Now, if you're looking for diplomacy and decorum, well, you're looking to the wrong place. Because the minute you start to disrespect, it can be on from there. And for the past 2 weeks now, I've blocked at least about 10 people, and that's on various social sites. And every last one of them I did it too was because of the respect issue. It isn't so much what they said, it's the disrespect. You are disrespecting a person for that's their view. Whether their view is personal, whether it's factually supported, it does not matter. That is their view. That is their space. That's like coming into something. That's like somebody sitting in their house, and they pop their foot in their own house, and you come there banging on the door, open up this door, and you busting in there and telling them what they could do and can't do in their house. That is equivalent to what you're doing. So I'm trying to tell people out there that respect people's space. If you don't believe in the covering, if you do believe in the covering, if you don't believe in tithing, if you believe in tithing, whatever that person say on their page, for the exception, you don't call anybody names. You do not call out people's name. Now, if you're making a vague statement, you didn't call nobody name, but they jump right in there. Well, my pastor, well, it's you I'm talking about. I never knew your pastor before you brought it up. My pastor believe in this and that. I say, well, my statement don't change. I said, if your pastor is telling people that in order to cross over to 2022, they have to pay a seed, your pastor is a thief and a liar and a crook. I never call your pastor name, but you came there and you threw your pastor under the bus on my page because you come on there and say, well, I go to so-and-so church and my pastor is so-and-so and we believe in, well, you and him are thieves. That's not going to alter what I said. And I, like with everything else, I support it with my scriptures. But don't think I can back down because this bishop so-and-so is a thief if he is telling people that in order to cross over, in order to be protected in life, you have to be under his covering. He is a liar. And all of those that push it are liars. Now, again, I didn't know who Bishop so-and-so was. I made a blanket statement. The facts are, it was based on the scriptures. You came on my page. You said, I guess this was your way of telling me off. Well, Minister Ewing, I appreciate your teaching, but I disagree with this. And because my church and my pastor, you're all thieves. Am I speaking Spanish? I will never change my position. That is my position based on scripture. Jesus, I've never read a scripture in Jesus' 30 years of living, in particular, his 3 years of ministry, from age 33, that he said to any of his disciples, now, boys, we covered a lot of ground. We cast out a lot of devils. We've been doing a lot of work for the Lord, a lot of healing, but I didn't know when I was going to tell you this, but we're going over into next year, and I'm going to require a crossover seed from all of you. I've never seen that. So if Jesus, our leader, never displayed such thievery, then anyone that does that is not of God. So to me, it is stealing. You're misrepresenting something for your benefit, because Jesus never gets this money. You're a thief. So you expose your pastor. I didn't know your pastor. I didn't know your bishop. I didn't know your apostle. I don't care to know them. You came in my space. You identified yourself and you said that you are a member of so-and-so church under the leadership of Bishop Reverend Dr. Ron the Corner Pope. And I said to you, he is a thief. And it wasn't personal at him. I made a blanket statement. Any pastor or religious leader that charges people for the word of God, that bring up different type seed for payment to them under the guise that it's going to God, is a thief. I'm not changing that. So get saved, you and your pastor. There are rooms to the cross. There's room at the cross for all of y'all. And based on how people dropping down dead every day, I suggest y'all get here quickly. Repent. Very simple. So don't roll up on this corner here and think I can back down like some little puppy. No. You can see a side of me you don't like, and that is putting you in your place. And the sole reason for that is very simple. Whenever you violate the respect that you should have for any human being, particularly me, then I have to take action from there. And the action there is to shut you down. You will go no further with that. Now you go argue in the corner with your other foolish friends, but it will not happen here. And that's how everybody should be. We have to come back to a place of respect. You may not agree with my view. You may not agree with my opinion. You may not agree with my thought in this area. That's fine. But that don't give you the right to come at me personally, especially in my space, and talk nonsense. No, I will not allow that. So a lot of those fools, and I will continue to say that they are fools. The Bible says a fool answered a question before it's even asked. You never ask, what is this post about? You never inbox, because if you really meant well, let me inbox Kevin and see what he meant by this, because I really want to get the real understanding. Many people who have posted stuff on my page, and I couldn't really tell whether they were trying to be facetious or what. So I say, okay, let me give them a break. So I will email them or send them a message note. Could you explain to me what you're saying? Because I don't see what it's tied into the post. Okay, now depending on, they won't be stink, then I'll have to take it from there. Okay, because I just want clarity. Because remember, the Bible says a fool, that's what it says, a fool answered a matter before the question is even asked. Meaning that they just jump in on an assumption of what they think or what they feel and making a whole discussion out of it, not knowing what the full concept of the matter is. So the Bible, not Kevin. So when I call them fools, I'm calling them fools based on the scriptures, not because I'm angry and calling them a fool. Well, that's a part of it. But the ultimate thing is that they're a fool based on the qualifiers from the scriptures. And the Bible says, you are a fool if you answer to something that you don't know the full details of. You read a post. You read into the post and base your argument on that. You're a fool, because that's not what it's about. Very simple, very clear, very true. All right? So let's go here now to Proverbs 25, verse 28. See in Proverbs 25, let's look at verse 28. Listen to what it says here. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. We used this the other day, right? Excuse me. You have no rule. Now that works two ways. That could be one, there's somebody who is impatient, who don't think, like the fool I was telling you about earlier, who don't think before they speak, who don't question to get the full details. That's one way. They have no control over their spirit. They just act without thinking. It also could mean someone who is easily manipulated by others. Whereas anyone, they have a spirit where they were controlled for so long, particularly by parents or whatever, or bullied for so long, that anyone could, come there and exert whether legal or unauthorized authority over them. Now, others who don't know them will look at them like, she's so humble and so submissive. That's not true. That's not true at all. They're not confrontational. They don't like that. So they will do whatever it takes, because all their life they was talked down to. They were controlled. They were told what to do, how to do it, when to come, when to go. So basically, they're like a robot just waiting for the next person to program them. and they'll do, no matter how stupid it looked to other people, and they will just keep on doing it. They don't care. And I've seen plenty of cases like that. I've seen cases, many of them, where, and this here was one of the most tragic situations that I've ever encountered, and several of them I've seen. Tragic in this particular case. I've seen where a couple married, right? And the wife is promiscuous, all right? And she have children in the marriage that does not belong to the husband, but these children were produced while they were married. Husband is fully aware of it. But he's very, very, very passive, very, very passive. He don't like confrontation. He don't like none of that. And if you bring it up, he don't want to hear it. So no matter what she goes, she comes as she please. There is no respect in the relationship, absolutely none from her end. But if you hear him speak about her, the wife this, the wife that, you offer him some food or something, no, boy, I can't eat that, boy. I know the wife cook. The wife will be so mad. If you hear him, if you don't know the situation, you'll think this is the best wife since sliced bread. But all of these traits he has. Now, here's the point I'm getting at. This didn't start with when he met this woman. In fact, who he always was attracted such persons to him. If you really want to see where this all started, now let's go back to his family. Let's go back to his environment. Let's go back. And you get to a house where the mother's the boss. She's married, but the mother's the boss. Husband got no say in the house. Yeah. Whatever the wife say, yeah, just ask her. Don't ask me. Johnny, you didn't lend me $50. Oh Lord, I don't know why you can do this. Go ask wife. Hold on, let me call her for you. She in Paris right now. Yeah, honey, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Kevin will borrow $50. Disgrace. 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 I had a case. I'll never forget this case. This man, the only thing I could say about him is whatever voodoo was on him, they must have brought this from Saturn somewhere. This couldn't be nothing that was originated on Earth. Okay, listen to this. This guy and his family, had a family, wonderful family. His wife told him she had another guy she was having sex with. All right? And her justification for this was things were tough and the husband couldn't provide. So she was assisting because the guy was giving her money. So he's telling me the story. This isn't the wife. He's telling me the story. So while he's telling me the story, I'm looking in his face because I'm waiting for him to come and say, I gotcha. You thought I was serious, right? He's very serious. So he said, he allowed it, but she would call him whenever she's with this party to let him know where she is and so on. So this caught me off guard because I've never had a situation like this. So it's like, I said, are you serious or are you just messing with me? He said, no. So I said, so you approved of your wife having a relationship, not just sexual relationship, a relationship. But that ain't the bad part. The bad part is they work together. The gentleman who's seen his wife. Some things when you walk away from after you already had the discussion, I gotta go take a swim or fly my drone or, I don't know, do some cartwheels just to see or make sure my feet are still on the ground. I'm still on this planet. And this is not a dream. Because the things that some people tolerate, but again, people hear me and hear me well, the problem didn't start with him. Go back to his background. Nice person. Very passive, very humble, but at the same time, jelly back, all their life they were dictated to. The mother was the man and the woman in the relationship. She dictated to the husband, the children, in fact, everybody in that relationship, big grown adults. When Sunday come, they all had to find themselves, even if they didn't bring their spouses, find themselves to mommy house because mommy cook. All of their insurance and stuff, guess whose name it in? Mommy name. See, there's always a root. And I'm saying this to somebody right now. These are the things you need to be looking into before you say, I do. Because trust me, the minute, see, all I do mean to that person, I have the right to run my course unhindered now. Because clearly, if they marry me, they must know what they was dealing with. So when you look at it, I'm telling you, forget what this person is telling you, because they like you and they can tell you all the nice stuff. Everybody like that. Everyone, even when they want sex, use the best thing since sliced bread. You are the wind between under their wings. You are their oxygen. All of this until you say you're pregnant. All of a sudden, who the baby for? Right? But here's what I'm saying to you. To understand these things, go back to check with their family, which you should have done from day one. Yeah, I know you love me, and I know you care about me. So tell me something. Where your folks live? Well, they live in Nevada. They live in Nevada. Okay. How soon we could book a trip down there? All right. See, you need to know what you're getting involved with. And you know, people say, man, God, she is nasty. She's this, she's that. And I agree with all of that. But you see, you still missing the point here. He is equally as guilty. But Kevin, how could that be? And she's the one cheating. He's allowing it. He's endorsing it. He's approving it. He's pampering it. He's no different from the person. Okay, let's say a son and a father, all right? The son come home and said, Daddy, these boys keep bothering with me. And the daddy said, you know where my gun is, right? And the boy take the gun. The daddy didn't know, go down the road, kill both of the people. Who do you blame? Who do you blame? Yes, the boy shot them. But who gave the permission that anytime he wanted to use the gun? The daddy is equally responsible. So the husband, because I don't know what kind of man he is, that he is willing to allow his wife to become intimate with somebody to make ends meet. How bad could things be that you would even think about that? But again, when you go back to his home. Mommy, ruler. She ruled with an iron fist. Ruler, even up in age. What mommy say is law. Husband have no say. Mind you, mommy catered to the husband, you know, cook his food, do all that, because they old school. But she run things up in there. So not only did she do this to the son, but the son watched the daddy be submissive all his life. And that spirit on him. Now, whether or not they together today, I don't know. But it was a tragedy for me to see something like that. It was, to this day, I still can't wrap my head around that. It's just beyond understanding. I just can't see how, if it's anything sacred between a couple, it's their intimacy. And for you as a husband to agree for your wife to be intimate the way that you do with another person and feel comfortable with it and justify it, no. I think something is seriously wrong with you. You know, but the more you see these different scenarios about people in their lives and so on, it now expands your way of thinking. And while not every situation is the same, more and more you begin to see the spiritual side of it, that there has to be a spirit governing this, because I cannot see a person in their sensible, educated, right mind submitting or consenting to something like that. But when you, like I say, when you go back, you see every one of the family members are under heavy manners by that woman right there, or man, or whoever. And the sad part about it is that even when she passed away, the seed been planted, and now each one is going to now do the same thing to their people. Not him. He will always be like the daddy, where you submit and you take rules and you never be a man. You know, that's the kind of stuff you're going to get from that. So again, going back to our topic here, resetting relationships. You have to look at these three values that I said earlier, which is confronting ourselves, looking at you first before you point the finger at your wife, your mother, uncle, auntie, boss, cousin, your church member, your pastor. Before you do any of that, make sure those fingers are pointing back at you. Every last one of us, including Kevin L A Ewing, in some way, somehow, we are either current hypocrites or we were hypocrites at something that we did. Something we complained about others, that we were doing the very thing that we're complaining about. We're not doing it with them, but we're saying they wouldn't pick up the phone and call us. They will never offer us this or that. But here it is, this person right up here, you're doing the exact same thing too. But as usual, and human behavior, because no one has called you out on it or pointed it out to you, you figure you're justified. Mind you, you know you're doing a hypocritical move here. You're complaining about this one, but the exact thing you're doing with this one over here. So we have to confront ourselves. Secondly, we must seek. All of this is resetting relationships in 2022. We must seek the good in relationships in terms of the people who we're always complaining about. When are you going to come to the day where you not complain, but speak about the good things that they did? Isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic? And that's why I say we're all hypocrites in this. Isn't it ironic that when we talk about this person over here who don't pick up the phone and call us, who don't do this and do that, watch what we say though. All I did for them. Then you got a whole 8, 9, 10, 15 books on the things that you did for them, right? You could always see what you did, but never, ever. So you're telling me all your life, because I'm trying to figure out what kind of relationship this was. For the 15 years you all were friends, this person never did anything for you? Nothing. All they did was just not call you and just took whatever you gave them and never, ever reciprocate any of it. You're a liar. So what people do? What people do, again, and this is why you have families in particular who will never come together as a unit, because nobody wants to sit down and discuss the real issue as to what's happening here. And if they do come together, they're not coming together to resolve anything. They're coming together to tell the other one how you hurt me the most. Never to resolve it, only to rehash it. And I've had situations like that where families would come to me and say, Kevin, I really want you to be a mediator in my family. I'm not going to be a mediator because I said to you, you need to check you first. And you came back to me with every type of excuse. Come to find out all of y'all like this. And the thing about it, in that particular family, everyone who's accusing someone of whatever, the other person does the same thing at either at a milder level or a greater level. So you meet a family, they'll say to me, well, Kevin, I don't like mess around with my sister because she's going to control everybody. Like, but you're control also. You may not be as intense as she is, but you're the same way. And your cousins and all y'all the same way. And until you all come to the grand conclusion that this is a curse in this family and that's what needs to be dealt with and you all need to look at yourselves, I wouldn't waste my time going there trying to resolve nothing, because the only thing that's going to come out of that, and when I say come out of that, until they look at the core issue, the only thing that's going to come out of that, well, you hurt me back in 76, okay? When you take my shoe and hide it and you know I was supposed to go to the prom and I had to wear your shoe. 1976? 1976. My Lord. You sure? So it's a battle of how much wrong we did each other, never to resolve. And that's why, and I'm trying to talk to somebody right now, if this year you plan that the family is going to come together so y'all could resolve issues, let me tell you this right now before y'all get together. There has to be standards set before that meeting take place. And the standards are, what are we really coming here for? We are coming here not to rehash issues, not to run a contest as to who hurt who the most and how many times. We are coming here to shut all of that down and to reset this, because we cannot leave this planet as adults going into our twilight years, or currently in our twilight years, could die any day, but feel justified why we don't speak to this one, why we don't speak to that one. And to foolishly believe that the God who we was praying to all along for forgiveness and expected him to forgive us, but we refuse to forgive our fellow man, sister, or brother. Who God you going to see again? Who God is this? So y'all need to wake up. A lot of Christians are hell-bound and don't even know because they're full of hate. They're full of unforgiveness. The Bible is very clear. He said, while you are praying, forgive others, this is the condition, so that your heavenly Father will forgive you. You are a liar to say that you claim to love God who you've never seen in your life. Never ever seen him. And the Bible says, for God is love, his very essence of love. So you saying you love God and you're a child of God, and your blood sister, your blood brother, you all came from the same mother, grew up in the same house, used the same amenities, and you don't speak to them, and you are a Christian, I think you're getting Christian and Christmas mixed up. That's what I believe it is. See, somebody need to call you all out, man. Your pastors leading you all straight to hell by not bringing these issues up. This is what you need to raise seed for, to repair families. Get it right. You are a hypocrite and you are on the way to hell. You cannot enter the kingdom of heaven with unforgiveness in your heart. You already know how this person is. You know how they go. So you can't use us, well, I don't speak to them because so and so, blah, blah. This is your sister. Tell your sister, look here, you have done me wrong, but guess what? I have done wrong too. I have lied on you. I have talked about you. I have said mean things about you. I am guilty. Confront you in front of them. And it don't matter if they reciprocate it. But you be the adult. So when you walk away from there, if they choose not to speak to you, that's on them. But you make sure you getting your heart right with God. They can't take you in and out of heaven. Make it right. But don't go there, well, I can be real with you. I didn't speak to you because you said something about me in 1948. You told Tom I was 7 when you know I was 8 years old. No. At the end of the day, you the one who say that you are a Christian. And that's why none of your children saved. None of them want to know God. Or those who claim to know God, just like you, they got one foot in the world and one foot out because they're watching you. They're emulating mommy. They're emulating daddy who say one thing and do something totally different. No, when you go to people to make an apology, you don't go there telling them what they did to you. You go there to apologize. And whether you did it or you didn't do it, if I offended you, I am sorry. I apologize. I'm a woman or man. I want to make it right with my Jesus. So therefore, I can't say I love Jesus and hate you, the person who I see every day. Make it right. Make it right. And some of you, and I'm going to end up with this one right here. Some of you, this is another thing I got to deal with these people with. Here it is, right? There are people in your life, your husband, your children, your sisters and brothers, right? Now, you have no problem complimenting other people. Child, I like how Brother Kevin, this minister of the word, he really make you understand it. And he real, man. He just don't pull no punches. This man real. That's what I like with him. You have no problem saying that. But now your sister or your brother, all right, they did something. And everybody's saying how good they are. Now it's your time to compliment them. Well, you did a good job, but I figure you just screaming too much. People, I cannot say this enough. A compliment is never a compliment if it's introduced with negativity or ends with negativity. A compliment is just that it should be a compliment in a sentence or a paragraph by itself, full stop, leave it. If there's something about that person during that time, save it for another time. And even with the comments on my YouTube and Facebook stuff, right? People will come on, and I can always sense it before it happened. Oh, Minister Ewing, I've been following you for a while. I've been watching all of your videos, and I really like this. But I don't agree. I don't delete. Why did you pick a public forum? Why couldn't you just give the compliment and send your complaint into an email? No, you're looking for attention. You're looking for confusion. You're looking to change the narrative of what this teaching is about, what this post is about. Where did this come in? Where did this come in? Delete. And then and if you do it again, I block you. People, if you don't set the record straight with these people, they will stay running game with you. You got to show them you are no nonsense and you are not going to put up with it. If they can't set standards in their life, then you set it for them on your platform. No, man. A compliment is a compliment. You cannot tell your wife, honey, you're pretty, you are so sexy, but your heel too washy, baby. My God. put some motor oil or something on that. What kind of compliment is that? No, so I don't put up with it. So, and I'm putting you on guard now. Anyone come on any one of my social medias talking rubbish, okay? And it has nothing to do with me. I am open to constructive criticism. There are people who I encourage when I make my posts. And sometimes where those thoughts are coming to me and I'm just typing, I make errors. And they would say to me, Minister Ewing, the third paragraph, you got this. You have a friend of mine who do this all the time. And I tell them, I love that. Show it to me, correct me. I have no problem with that because you want better for me. You don't want me to the public like someone who have grammatical problems. I for that. Constructive criticism. But don't come, and you trying to change the narrative. We talking about their condition. You feel it's the time that, well, you gave me an interpretation on the dream and I don't feel. What does that have to do with their condition? So people like that, I tell you, they are troublemakers. They're coming in a snake way to cause problems. So what are they doing? They're trying to take the attention your audience have on your post, on your teaching, or whatever it is that you posted, to now bring it on them. And how better to do that than to throw a monkey wrench in your whole deal? So I delete them. And like I say, if they do it more than once, I block them. I don't entertain them. You got to set the record straight in 2022. You cannot let people continue to disrespect you and say that they have a friendship with you because they do not have they remove the adhesive, which is the respect part of it. If they remove the respect, it is not the relationship, once the respect is removed, is completely on their terms. They're like a bipolar person. However they feel that they treat you. Because why? The respect is not there. So anyone who continues to disrespect you, you need to cut loose. Why are you entertaining such a relationship? Why are you listening to this person every time they talk to you? This condescending stuff, negative stuff, everything. Every hour of the night, every second of the day, all they do is WhatsApp you and text you bad news. Oh, you hear this one get shoot? You know that thing I'm cousin who gets stabbed in their head? My God. Why are you doing that? All of this is robbing you of your peace. Shut these fools down. Listen, the next time you send me a text or WhatsApp like that, our friendship is over. I told you before, I don't entertain negativity. Why the only thing you could ever share with me is always negative? Why whenever you're talking about other people's children, it's always negative, but your children are the best children in the world? You got to set them straight, because the more you entertain them, you are an endorser of what they're doing. You are an enabler. Shut them down. Mary, you are negative, and you talk as if your children are perfect. They are not perfect. Tell them, if you are a true friend, set them straight. I sure my friends appreciate my friendship because I set you straight. Don't come around here. We all got problems. Our children got problems. Our spouses got problems. We got problems. So stop highlighting the problems of everybody else like you got none. Kevin will shut you down. I ain't playing with you. I shutting you down. I don't care who he is, pastor, whatever it is. Whatever you do, a pastor, a bishop, nobody is above the laws of God. If you're a fornicator, a liar, an adult, I can tell you if it comes to that. Because I don't ever want you to put into your head that because you wear a title, you can't get called out. Of course, I wouldn't embarrass you, but I'll pull you on the side and tell you. And if you take it wrong, then that's on you. But I do this because at the end of the day, it ain't me you got to answer to. So if you continue in this vein, there is a record in heaven when you try to tell God otherwise. Well, Kevin told you, Tom told you, but you thought you were mighty in everybody's because you wore collar. Now look where you're going today, straight to hellfire. No. So you got to set them straight. 2022 is all about resetting relationship. And some of those relationships you got to bring to an end. Look at what it's done to your health. Look at what it's done to your confidence. Look, you have no confidence. You always second guess stuff because this person beat you down all your life verbally. You stupid, you was an idiot, you was a fool, you don't got no sense, you this, you that, and you sat right there and took the licks till it break you down as a person. You literally endorse that. And you find every reason to stick with a fool like that. Oh, he just paid the bills. Oh, she got a master's degree. Oh, I still will ride around in this BMW, so I can just be a donkey and just take this. Well, you stay on that road. You have to set the record straight. You have to. People have a difficult time respecting other people nowadays. So you got to ensure that they do it. And if they want to rebel, then don't. We have nothing with each other anymore. I don't hate you. I have nothing against you. In fact, I pray that you will change one day. But until then, you stay over here in your corner, and I will stay over here in my corner. You cannot. Listen again. I can say this again to you, right? Respect is the adhesive. It is this thing that keeps the relationship together. The minute the respect is gone, the minute the one who's constantly disrespecting you has really pushed it to the limit, then they call in the shots to the relationship. They have no problem talking to you any kind of way. They have no problem using obscenity at you and talking to you and it's all approved by you, because there's a saying that say silence gives consent. Very, very clear. So you got to set the record straight. That goes to your children, that goes to your husband, your wife, that goes to mommy, that goes to daddy, that goes to boss, whoever it is. Don't disrespect me. No, you don't do that. You are a boss. I am an employee. In order for any relationship to work, whether it's in church, whether it's your employment, whether it's your family, there has to be a mutual respect. A pastor is no greater than the members because he is the pastor. There is a level of respect they should have for him, and there's a level of respect he should have for them. But his title or his position does not make him or her greater than the members. Jesus himself made this clear in Luke 22, I believe it is, when he said himself, he said, you are not to be like the Gentiles who bring in masters over them to lord over them. He said, instead, the way that the kingdom of heaven works, he that is greatest among you must become a servant to those who are subject to him. In other words, he was saying you must be a servant leader. Very clear, very simple. And this attitude that because you're the teacher, the pastor, the apostle, you could talk to me any kind of way, you could make demands on me. No. 2022, that ain't happening no more. If it was happening with you, because it was never happening here. You got to set the record straight. Not in disrespect, not at all. I do not approve of that. But setting it straight. Pastor, mommy, mother-in-law, father-in-law, we need to have a conversation. No, don't bring no attitude, you know. You're going to be very calm. If they won't become belligerent and stupid, then you walk away. But you would have made your point already. Let them deal with that. Just don't come to my house no more. Simple as that. Because how could you be fighting to say, I will continue to disrespect? Because that's what you're doing. I am telling you, the way you say these bad words in here, the way you is very disrespectful. And you're fighting the fact that you're going to continue to do it. So what you're saying to me is, I'm going to continue to disrespect you. I don't care what you think. You don't care what I think? Okay. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So a lot of you have to develop some spines and now deal with these people who continue to. But before you do that, remember my first point. Confront you. Am I doing the same thing? Is my behavior, is what happening to me a reciprocation of what I've been dishing out? See, you got to look at it that way. Don't go in there like I write and I don't do these things. You look at you first. Confront you. A lot of people do not want to confront themselves. Confront you. Are you doing this? Many relationships, the husband, I use this example all the time, and it has a lot to do with understanding and not so much communication in a relationship. I say this to you all the time. A lot of times when people have problems in the relationship, consulates and so on, love to lean on the fact that this is a miscommunication problem. While I agree to a certain extent, I don't entirely agree to that, because what you're calling miscommunication is a problem of understanding. And I said to you before, a woman is saying to her husband, honey, I do not like the way that you speak to me in public. Now that's communication, right? So it wasn't no problem there. She made herself clear, right? The husband now turns around and says, I don't see nothing wrong with the way that I speak to you. Now, as far as everybody's concerned, there was a communication. There was no miscommunication. What there is, though, is a misunderstanding. How is this, Mr. Ewing? The wife is communicating how she feels. The husband interpreted it as a right or wrong situation. She isn't asking about what is right or what is wrong. It hurts me when you talk down to me in public. It hurts me when you act like you're superior to me or I'm your servant. That's a feeling, an emotion that bothers me when you do it. He, on the other hand, is seeing a right and wrong situation. So you see, you could have communication, but complete misunderstanding. Am I making sense to you? So this is why I say we have to sometimes sit back. Deidre would say to me all the time, Kevin, listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying. I hear you, Kevin, but listen to what you're saying. Now, of course, I would tell her that right there. But I agree with her. Sometimes you're so adamant about making your point that you just causing all kind of problem on the way to that point and don't see the very thing you're complaining about, you doing the exact same thing. So that's why I say, and I say we are all, that's why I said me too, we are all hypocrites. We are all quick to read the riot act about what somebody did to us and how they're doing it to us, but never looking at ourselves, never taking a mirror and looking at ourselves. You have to look at you. You have to see you. I do the same thing. I accuse them of this, but I do the exact same thing. So what does that make you? A hypocrite. A hypocrite is one who is an actor, an actress. They say one thing and do the next. So you have to listen to your spouse, listen to your children, not because they're children and you're the parent, they have no say. Listen, they have emotions, they have feelings. Listen for once, just listen and remove your biases. Be open-minded. Let me listen to my child. Daddy, you don't ever let me express myself. You always cursing, you always rowing. What you mean I always rowing? Blah, blah, blah. Well, perfect example. Listen. In order to fix these relationships, to reset it, you have to go back to basics. And the basics are the Holy Scriptures. All right, so I'm going to end right there. I'm going to pick this up tomorrow. Again, this is part one of resetting relationships in 2022. And the three main points, like I would have said, that we're going to really dealing with in all of these teachings is going to be one, confronting ourselves, always looking in us what we claim we have a problem with others. Two, always seeking the good in relationships. Finally, we're always talking about the negative things in these relationships, but never ever putting emphasis on the good. And the third one is learning to accept truth, meaning to accept people for who they are and stop trying to change them to what you want to be, even though you get to live your life freely and nobody can tell you what to do. Okay, so until next time, I pray that you have a wonderful first day of the new year and that you go over this video, ponder the scriptures until we be back here tomorrow to continue this powerful teaching. You have a blessed and wonderful evening.